Okay, today's Unit 3, Safety in the Shop. Our shop is a safe place to work if simple safety rules are followed. That means you have to make good decisions throughout your day working in the shop. Majority of things that do happen are because people take risks, and risks are not good. Something to ponder. Individuals never really appreciate something until it is no longer available. We're talking, you get to use your fingers, your hands every day. Imagine you don't have that because you took a risk in the shop, try to do something that wasn't safe. It really changes how you look at the rest of the world. You lose your eyesight in one eye. Well, now you're training your body all over again. So, people don't really see that. 95% of all accidents occur because simple safety rules are not followed. That means that they chose to do something that was risky. I consider that lack of knowledge. They just chose poorly. The other 5% is due to some type of equipment failure. Machines do break down, but most machines are set with safety features, so you're pretty much going to fall into the other range of 95% of all accidents because you don't follow the rules, you try to circumvent things, and bad things will happen. Now, personal factors that can cause accidents. One is your age, your maturity. Where are you at? I wouldn't want a 4-year-old running any power tool in the shop, that's for sure. One that you probably shouldn't have to worry about, but when you get in the real world, you're probably going to run into this. Drugs and alcohol, impaired judgment, fatigue, all you guys playing Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, all those stuff, NCAA football, all those games, online games. You're up till the wee hours of the morning. Well, if you're tired, you can't keep your mind on what you need to do. Stress. Everybody's under stress, but it's how you handle that stress determines if you're going to get hurt or not. If you're stressing over something, usually your mind's not on what you need to worry about. Lack of wisdom, lack of knowledge. Two different things. Lack of wisdom, that's making a poor judgment, a poor decision, not using common sense when it should be used. Taking a scratch awl that has a sharp end or a scribe and poking somebody in the side because you think it's funny. Yeah, that's not going to work. That is my opinion of lack of wisdom, making a poor decision. Lack of knowledge, not knowing much about how to run a machine. That's what that looks at. Okay. You don't have the knowledge to run a machine. Illnesses, the pandemic we're in right now, this is a big one. If you're sick, you're spending more time blowing your nose, you don't feel good, stuff like that. Your mind is not on what you need to be doing. Poor attitude. I see this all the time. People are mad they have to get a project done or they fall behind or something bad happens or they come in just mad as hell because they had a bad test. Takes your mind off of what you want to do. Now, physical factors that can cause an accident. Now, these are outside of your body. First one is machine failure. Okay, machine has a malfunction, stuff comes flying out, could hit you. That's what I'm looking at. Housekeeping. Housekeeping is probably one of the most important physical factors, in my opinion. It's you checking your work area, your machine, inspecting it, making sure there's nothing there that can hurt you, checking the floors, looking for cuts in your power cord, your machine's not operating correctly. Those things you have to do every day. You have to do housekeeping every day. Clean up when you're done. when you first come out, double check everything to make sure everything's in order. The last one is time of day. Probably not one that we look at, okay? We're talking more, if you're not used to working at 3 a.m., probably not a good time to run a power machine. So those are the 3 physical factors. Now, procedure for reporting accidents. There's the first category, is major accident requiring stitches. You need to stay calm. That is, I can't stress that enough. Yes, I know there's bad things happen, but you've got to stay calm. You're only going to make things worse if you start to freak out. You need to inform me right away, and then we'll either head straight to the nurse's office or we'll have to call the ambulance, whatever it may happen to be. Okay? That's the first category of accidents. The second one, minor accidents. These are scrapes, cuts, burns, something simple that you probably don't look at as being important. You need to stay calm once again. You need to inform me immediately. Then follow my instructions, okay? Usually I'll send you to the first aid kit, tell you what you need to do, and easily fix it. Now, locations of first aid kits in the shop. Location number 1 of a first aid kit is by the sink, the hand washing sink. That's the one that we probably use the most. Location number 2 is by the metal lays. If you don't know what those are the big green and gray metal machines in the back of the shop. Okay. That one probably is not filled with what you need. You'll have to go to the sink, to probably the one by the sink, to get everything you need. Fire extinguisher locations in the shop. There's one next to the tool room, the tool chest. Okay, you could call that the big tool chest. I'll accept either one. You just need to know where these are at. Location number 2 is by the back exit in the shop. Okay, they're red. They're purposely stated for what we need in the shop. There are 2 of them. Now, in case of a fire, you will not be required to actually use one of these extinguishers. You just need to know where they're located in case I need you to go get one. That's it. You're not required. Locations of the emergency kill switches in the shop. The purpose of these are to shut down all power to everything except for the lights. If I'm unable to reach somebody and I see them in trouble, I can hit this and it will kill the machine right away. Now, if this does happen, don't freak out. Okay? Something probably is happening elsewhere. Just remain calm. Shut your machine off if it's already on. Okay? I will let you know well in advance when to turn it back on. Okay, there are 2 of them in the shop. One is by the classroom door right outside of our classroom. Okay, it's a little red button. You hit it, it'll push in, it'll shut everything off except for the lights. The other one is located by the ag door that enters the shop. Or you could say in the foundry area. There's one right by the table, right by the doorway going from the shop to the ag room. Hit that, the same thing will occur. Now, the eye wash station. It's located next to the sink. Now, it's used to flush out objects out of the eyes. If you do happen to get something in your eye, stay calm. Do not rub your eye. Resist the urge. Then you'll have to go to the eye wash station and flush it for about 15 to 20 minutes max. Okay? It may come out before that. That's fine. But you got to pry your eyes open. You have to open them up and let the water flush out what's ever in there. If you do rub your eye, you have a chance of scratching your eye and making things worse. So that's why I say don't rub your eye. Now, if it doesn't come out, we'll probably have to send you to the nurse, and then you'll probably end up going to the eye doctor. Here's an example of the eye wash station. If you're unaware of it, you haven't had a chance to walk around the shop, that's what one looks like. This is a combination one that has a shower as well as the eye wash. That's what we have in the shop. Now, OSHA. OSHA is an important thing. It was developed back in the 70s. It's Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Basically what this is they protect workers in the workplace. They put in the rules to help keep people safe. Workers have rights. This is what really keeps you from being forced to work in unsafe conditions. Okay, you just need to know that is out there when you go into a workplace. Now, some basic safety rules for the shop. First one is housekeeping. Always do housekeeping. Okay, always when you enter the shop, check your work area, check your machine over. Okay, you pick up a drill bit, check it over, make sure it's not bent, it's not broke, stuff like that. If something's too heavy, get help. Please get help. Make sure there's proper ventilation. Okay, that goes for the welding and the foundry area. You want to make sure that you do have proper ventilation there. Never make any adjustments or measurements while the machine is running. Stop the machine. It won't take much to have your arm wrapped around something if you try to take a measurement. Now this one here, never talk to anyone while operating a machine. That happens all the time. Make sure, focus on what you're doing. Always point tools with sharp points away from you. That way you don't swipe your hand on the table if you're trying to, make an erase your mark. You point a tool, hits you right in the hand. That'll hurt. Got to always wear your safety glasses. Once you enter that shop, glasses are on, no questions. If the noise is too loud, we do have ear protection. I would tell you to use it if you think stuff's too noisy. Okay, it'll muffle the sound. Only use sharp cutting devices. If you're not getting something, if there's not cutting bits coming off, shrapnel, whatever, that means the bit is not sharp. So stop and don't use it. Okay, never use one that's dull. You're going to end up breaking something. Make sure your work is always clamped down. Okay, that's a very important one. Some other shop safety stuff. If for some reason a student walks away from a machine and leaves it running, what should you do? You need to stop the machine and then inform the teacher. Okay, let me know. I'll take care of it. It's not your job. For some reason you break a tool, a drill, or a machine, what should you do? You need to inform me ASAP. Never just walk away or just throw it away. If it's the last 1/8 inch billet and I don't know it's broke, I can't go get one to replace it. We might have to be shut down because I don't have one available. Okay. If I know about it in advance, I can get it fixed or get a new piece. Okay. Really that's shop safety in a nutshell. There's a lot of things. Roll your sleeves up past your elbows if you have long sleeves on. Jewelry, necklaces, make sure they're removed. Rings, they're electrical hazards. We don't want them. But watches, all that stuff, you should take off. You don't want to get damaged or get caught. Never want to stop a drill press with your hand. Let it come to a complete stop. Let all machines come to a complete stop before you even do anything. Okay, so those are a lot of things. We talk about them every day. Safety in the shop is super important. Lack of wisdom is probably the biggest thing. You can consider that horseplay. Okay, so hopefully you walk in to the shop, be able to work this year and create your projects and work safely. I always say you're going to walk in with all 5 digits on your hands. Okay, and you're going to walk out with them.